Mr. Chairman and members, I have House Bill 1657. And the problem is that there exists a significant disparity in representation and participation in STEM and educational tracks in STEM fields. For example, just 37% of STEM bachelor degrees are awarded to women, just 7 are Black, and 12 are Latino. The numbers are even lower for women of color, and the numbers are pretty abysmal for those in the disabled community and the LGBTQ plus community. This could be due to a variety of reasons. So instead of assuming, House Bill 1657 would direct the STEM Education Advisory Board to intentionally and thoroughly look into what can be done to bridge the gaps and increase participation in STEM by underrepresented groups. And those directives are outlined in my copy, lines 70 through 80. In order to best have these conversations, House Bill 1657 also increases the number of people on the board and specifically adds members from boards that deal with issues of the underrepresented groups, including non-legislative civilian members of the Virginia African American Advisory Board, Virginia Asian Advisory Board, Latino Advisory Board, Council on Women, Virginia LGBTQ plus Advisory Board, Virginia Indian Advisory Board on State Recognition, Office of New Americans Advisory Board, and the Virginia Board for People with Disabilities, all boards that currently exist. And the conversations are multi-layered, Mr. Chairman, because it is about the personal ability of members of these communities to seek the well-paying careers in STEM, but it is also about the negative impact the lack of diversity has on the industry. As research shows, diverse teams perform better, come up with more innovative solutions, and have fewer instances of workplace harassment and discrimination. Mr. Chairman and members, our Commonwealth is at the forefront of technology and medical breakthroughs, and it is important that we have a diverse workforce ready for the jobs of today and tomorrow. During each of our committee's meetings, industry after industry talks about the need for more qualified and trained people ready to join their team. That includes the shortage in mental health and shipbuilding. We can open up pathways to success and a pipeline of career-ready residents if we investigate the reasons for the current disparities and work to address them.
Thank you, Delegate. Questions for Delegate Bryce? None? Let's see if we have any testimony. Welcome again, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, Shane Riddle with the Virginia Education Association. We do support House Bill 1657. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, please be brief.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to say my first week at college, I met a student and she said that the STEM class is the first place she actually felt human because her high school STEM experience was so dehumanizing and was so filled with misogyny. And so this bill is so important, just making sure folks can feel human and just making sure that underrepresented students can actually feel like they belong in the classroom. And so I'm asking you to support it today.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak?
Hi. As I said before, I'm a student at Appomattox Regional Governor's School, where I am extremely lucky to be in a very diverse group of students who are encouraged in every way to lead and to take charge in STEM and the arts. However, not everyone is as lucky. My best friend is a VOTEC student for welding in Norfolk, where she is the only girl in her class, and where she has told me that she is constantly harassed by her male classmates, and her one female teacher is also consistently harassed by the male students. So why in 2023 are we still seeing this level of discrimination, and why does it continue up through degrees where we see such a low amount of women of color receiving STEM degrees? This problem must be addressed at the root, which is our schools. Let's continue to show minority children that STEM is a place where they can thrive. Please support our Commonwealth's education by supporting this bill.
Next.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Mike Asif with the Virginia Council of Administrators. Thank you, committee. We do support the bill. We feel that the inclusion of persons with disabilities in STEM education is critical, both at the educator level and certainly our students deserve to be considered with those STEM programs. Appreciate the study.
Thank you, sir. Virtual world. I don't think we have one more. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Didn't see you back there.
Yeah, Todd Gagg with the Family Foundation. We oppose the legislation.
Virtual world. Who do we have? Madam Clerk, do we have anybody out there? Laura Tong. Okay, Ms. Tong.
Good morning. My name is Laura Trong, and I'm a high school student in Fairfax County Public Schools, and I'm here to stand for House Bill 1657. Underrepresentation in STEM is incredibly discouraging and dangerous to students and undermines their desire to pursue STEM fields because students feel extremely alienated when faced with discrimination and a lack of representation. They simply just can't see themselves doing science in the future. And this can be as simple as something like walking into a classroom and noticing a lack of those who identify similarly to you. For example, in my own calculus class, I only have 6 girls, including myself, while the rest of the students are men. I know even fewer girls who are going to take multivariable calculus and linear algebra alongside me next year. Furthermore, students just don't know how to get involved with STEM due to limited room for opportunities in STEM or simply a lack of knowledge as to how to get further involved in STEM aside from their science classes. Many marginalized students attend underfunded high schools with a lack of STEM initiatives, which only adds on to this issue. And by not amplifying people of color and LGBTQIA+ and neurodivergent and disabled voices as well as other minorities, we're losing value.
Thank you for your testimony. Anyone else? No other virtual committee members? Question, Delegate LaRocque?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Question for the patron. Certainly no disagreement with the idea of promoting the participation of historically underrepresented students in Section B, but perhaps could elaborate a little bit on, I guess this is pretty dramatic change in the board, proposing 8 new positions, and maybe you could elaborate a little bit on who's on the board now. I mean, not necessarily names, but why were they appointed, and what is it about the composition of 10 members that you think is not serving the purpose of the board? Is it 10 now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so in the text of the bill, it doesn't take anyone that's on the board currently away. It adds to it. And the thinking behind it is if you want to know what underrepresented communities are experiencing and going through, you can talk directly to them. And so that's where these additional positions would come from, already pre-established agencies, boards, and commissions that deal with these type of issues on a regular basis.
Anyone else wishing to speak?
Yeah, question for the patron. Did any groups or organizations come to you saying that, I think part of the question was, is this necessary? Did anyone come to you and approach you and say that this was necessary and maybe why?
Yep, I was working with the students in Pride Liberation, but also have talked with industry leaders, like I named shipbuilding and mental health. I also spoke with some doctors and practitioners within the maternal health crisis and talking about you don't have to train Black maternal health providers on how to best treat Black patients. And so that's just one example of the many industries that are looking for more diverse candidates, but just aren't finding them ready for the pipeline when they're hiring.
Speaking to the bill, yeah, I agree with what the patron just said. I think this is actually, you can look at this as pro-business, but I know some industries have been looking for more guidance and more representation on this board. So I would hope that we support the bill.
Anyone else? Chair, entertain a motion. Motion by delegate and second by alternado. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's take a vote. Motion passes 4-3.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members.